Good morning, folks. Hope you can hear me. I had to work from home this morning because of another snow issue here in our community. A little school delay messed up our timing and everything this morning. So, in any case, here we are. Hope you can hear me because of this different setup. So, if you can't, or if there's another tech problem, just put it in the chat there. So, got bad news for you. I mean, hopefully it's coming to an end soon, but I don't know. TLT below the 200 day moving average. You can see at 95.36. In pre-market, it's at 94.50. The next support's at 93.71. So that's been our North Star. That's been the risk on. This has been the signal for risk assets to be soaring, IWM and RK. And actually, you can see the IWM and RK have really been diving along with TLT last couple of weeks, while QQQ and SPY have been relatively stable. So let's take a look at IWM. Here we go. All right. It's lost everything since that FOMC pump. The next support is right here at the top of this candle, which is 187.23. We're already at 187.86 in pre-market. So your two support levels, 187.23, and then the 50-day moving average at 186.25. I hope those hold. I'm a little bit worried about the RSI not being reset yet, not hitting 30 yet. Hold on, here's another important candle right there, which is what? 190.27. It's below that, yeah. So those two levels I gave you are the next two levels. So yeah, a little bit worried that our RSI is up here still at 45, and we haven't seen QQQ and SPY really correct yet appreciably. You know, like NVIDIA has been exploding in some other high-tech stocks, big cap stocks. So if you get a correction out of QQQ and SPY, will that also send the IWM even lower down to the 200 EMA at 181.09? I suppose that's possible. And man, times like this, you really got to be short. And I wish I was just pounding the table harder. We had the one good short call on BA. Unfortunately, I didn't hold it. My target was 214, went all the way to 200. But even I didn't even hold it straight till 214. I was in and out a couple times, made a little bit of money, should have made a lot more. And even air, something like this. I was in and out. I've been calling for where is it? Hold on. We gotta go to the weekly. I've been calling for 1549 at the 200-week moving average, and it really does look like it's heading there. And another example of something like BA, I was just timid with it because I'm not like a professional shorter. I don't like being short. I like being optimistic, and so I tend not to really hold my shorts more than a day or two, unfortunately. Um, and look at this. A couple other things I want to point out is when did I start? I started getting a little bit negative on the indices here on Thursday. We had hot CPI, right? Here we go. On the hot CPI day, uh, I was recommending people get short, but I didn't hold it. All right. We had a hot CPI. It was actually green that day, and I got a little confused. I'm like, what? Why are we green that day? And now look at it. 3, 4 days later, nosediving. I think the same thing might be happening with Tesla. We gave you a Tesla short yesterday, but I just did it for the day, and just I don't like swinging short, unfortunately. But here we go again. One day later, Tesla is down and not looking good. And I gave you targets yesterday of 207 and then 194. Really wouldn't be surprised to see those come to fruition. One thing I did do, I actually sold all my Tesla in my long term account for now. I think I'm going to revisit this at like, 195 or something or lower. I think it could get there. All right. So, anyway, that being said, yeah, look, um, if you're a good shorter, and if you like some of these short ideas I give you, well, then, hopefully you can do better than me and hold it with some conviction and make some money. As for me, I'm just kind of waiting for better times. There's not much going on today. There's one or two catalysts I'm going to tell you about. There's some negative catalysts here I'll tell you about. Teladoc gets a downgrade from DA Davidson, lowered the price target from 33 to 22. We also got a downgrade on Rivian from Deutsche Bank, cutting their price target, I think the 17, or was it 19 from 29? There it is, 19 from 29. So those are causing those stocks to head on down. Want to point out QS after that really good news has towards that 50-day moving average at 677. It's on it. It's on the 50-day moving average. Okay, could be a bounce play in here, but man, I just in this market, I'm not sure. I think I also need a catalyst. So none of these things too appealing to me. Here we go with a potential catalyst for Snap. Snap gets an upgrade from a $17 price target, I think from 12. Who is that from? Yeah, 12 to 17 from Piper Sandler. 12 to 17. This is one of my favorite risk assets. I was looking for this to explode past 18, but again, I don't know that I want to be playing risk assets until I get a better signal on IWM. So that's what's going on there. And there's really only, that leaves me with like one idea that I have for today. All right. I think Snap could be a good idea. Could be a good swing kind of entry because you also have this support it's bouncing off of 1530. There's a double support here, triple support. Well, I'll call it a double support at this gap that already held once. So it had the gap, it held it once, it held it again this morning. One, two, three. Yeah, double, triple. I don't know how, depending on how you count it. 1530. So that's a powerful level it's bouncing off of on news this morning. So potentially you could say here's an entry, but I worry that even if it bounces today, it can move subsequently to 1460 at that 50-day moving average. Nonetheless, if you have the right time and the right perspective on this, and you're not necessarily day trading it, swing or investment, maybe it's a good time to step in and then step in more if it gets to 1460. But as a focus for today, I don't think that catalyst is strong enough. Piper Sandler upgrading to $17. Looks like BA finally getting a little bounce. Maybe some news just came out. It just did up quickly, so I bet something came. All right. So that brings us to like my only pick of the day in a way. It's going to be CRISPR. I'll tell you in a second. But hold on. A little bit of news out of LAP. Don't think it's going to be enough to move the stock today, but their part Lockheed Martin, their customer, got a $800 million contract from the government. Some of that's expected to flow to LAP, but they got a lot of other issues right now, so I don't think that's necessarily a great catalyst. Yatra I told you about yesterday, up 20% in India the last 10 days, but this morning I think it was down 5%. That may put a little crimp on it, but even so, there's still a huge valuation gap at 185 to 195. Even with that 5% down move, I still think you can see 185 to 195. It's around it hit 189 here in pre-market. So anyway, that's the target, 185 to 195 up there at the 200 DMA, and then we'll see about a potential ARB solution that can maybe take this into the high twos. All right. Okay, but for today, and it hasn't happened yet, so it's a little bit concerning. But I'm going to go with CRISPR. All right, it's the only stock I'm going to go for today. CRISPR, CRSP. You're familiar with it. We had some success with this right after the European approval. We jumped on it, had a bunch of green candles, and then when it got the FDA approval in the States, this is for sickle cell anemia. And then it pulled back a cure for sickle cell anemia. And now we've been just kind of consolidating after that pullback. And then last night, they got another approval for that same drug. All right, but for a different indication, this one for transfusion dependent beta thalassemia. Okay, that's what they got approved for. This gives them access to another 1,000 patients, probably going to be priced at around $2.7 million. So this came 2 months in advance of the PDUFA date. So that's honestly my only thesis on this one, is that this came so early, it may surprise participants who wanted to maybe get in on this type of action, right? Where it ran up ahead of approval and then it sold off on approval. Well, it didn't even run up ahead of approval because people thought this approval was going to be in 2 months. So are there going to be people who maybe were short to have to unwind that, or people who wanted to be part of this story who never got in? That's my only play for today. CRISPR, and you got a range of support from 60 to 67. You can clearly see on the 5-day chart. I know when people are looking at this, they're like, well, there's no pre-market, positive activity. So that is a point against it. On the other hand, you can say there's no volume yet, right? This is just retail institutions haven't participated yet. If you have anything else going on, let me know. Put it in chat, or put it here in the chat, or put it in the VIP chat room Insider app. But I really don't have anything else. Man, I wish I kept my short on air. I closed it yesterday. Why did I close it yesterday? I don't know, because I'm just a terrible shorter. All right, my price target was again, man, this looks like, look, it's really gonna get there, 1550. All right. So in any case, good day for shorts, and really watch closely IWM and TLT. So we're at 188.06 now. Potential reversals at those levels I gave you. Also potential reversal on TLT at the 50 DMA, 93.71. And maybe that'll give us reprieve and we can be back off to the races with risk assets. But I worry, man. I worry that because QQQ and SPY haven't really corrected, when they start correcting, will that take IWM down a big leg lower? Really worried about that. So cautious here. All right, got a cautious outlook here. One thing I did kind of do right, since that CPI, although I'm not shorting, but in my retirement account, I did go to a nice percentage of cash, which I'm still sitting on. I'm just like waiting for better opportunities to deploy that cash. So that's kind of my perspective right now. Not a lot going on. Not a lot of strong catalysts this morning. We'll see if that CRISPR can turn green and buck the market trend today. But other than that, I really got nothing. All right. So in any case, today's a travel day for me, heading to the airport this afternoon, and I'll be doing. This seems to be working out. So hopefully I can do this in the hotel room at 9 a.m. each morning. I may have to do it a little earlier if we plan to go out. So like maybe 8:30 or something like that. Well, you'll see the notifications come out and I'll change the time if that has to happen. But roughly, I think for the most part, I can kind of keep roughly a 9 a.m. schedule while we're down there at Disney World for the kids for like the next 7 to 10 days. So, in any case, guys, good luck today. It's not a great market. If you have stuff you could sell that you have profits in, I think it's even in things like Nvidia, right? SMCI actually started shaving some off in SMCI just to raise cash, so I can have something to deploy when we find the bottom in these risk assets again. All right, good luck, everyone. Have a great day.